Hi journalists, welcome back to another video.
Yeah.
I'm doing another book review of the book Scythe by Neil Schusterman. But before I can even get into the book review today, I have an announcement. I am not pregnant, but I am giving away one free copy of Scythe in this video. So all you have to do is go, let me scooch on over. All you have to do is sign this real QR code that actually goes somewhere. So sign the real QR code that goes somewhere, and you might have a chance to receive Scythe by Neil Schusterman, just like me. Now, for the first part of this book review, we will be doing one adjective and one movie character. This is a character analysis. For the first main character, Citra Terranova, I have chosen the adjective of courageous. She is not afraid to speak her mind and is very loyal towards her family for the majority of this book, for all of it. And for our second main character, Rowan,
Damish.
the adjective I chose for him was thoughtful. Throughout this whole book, he is thinking with his heart and is very loving when he is given the chance to. The movie characters, I would describe them as, I would describe Citra as Katniss Everdeen. For Rowan, I would probably choose Peter Malark. Is this hinting at a potential love story? Read the book. And for our third main character, Scythe Faraday, who plays a mentor to both Citra and Rowan throughout the whole book, I have chosen for the adjective, well, I've chosen two adjectives, but we're moving past the point. For Scythe Faraday, I have chosen the adjective of serious but kind-hearted. Yes, I'm looking at my script. And for a movie character, I would choose Snape from the Harry Potter series. For the second part of this book review, it is actors who I would choose to play the characters if it was a movie. Thank you. Now, if Scythe was a movie, for Citra Terranova, I would probably choose Amanda Steinberg, because that's the first person I imagined when I started reading this book was her. And for Rowan,
Damish.
I have chosen Hero Phineas Tiffin. Hi, Maya. I chose him because my friend told me to, and I basic male. That's all I got, guys. That's all I got. And for Scythe Faraday, I would have chosen Benedict Cumberbatch or Cumberbatch. I don't know if I pronounced the name right, and we're gonna move on from the point. Thank you. And today we'll be doing a short round of reviewing mood, time, plot, tone, and place. 5. For the mood, I would say probably intense. And for the tone, I would say serious yet time. It's in the future without war, hunger, pain, death, probably taxes, mental illness. For the place, it is mid-America, but what we know from looking at the book, it's North America. Now for the plot, but it's going to be in a dramatic fashion because I am dramatic. Death is no longer existent. Scythes are now in place to keep the population under control. The two main characters are chosen to be an apprentice by Scythe Faraday, but he is only allowed to choose one. Thank you. Now, for a little boring stuff that I have to do, the literary devices, which no one wants to hear about. So I'm gonna list them all right here while playing something else right here. So I'm gonna wait a second so I can let the video play out, but yeah. Now, for the next part of this book review, Scythe by Neil Schusterman, we will be I call this portion the Bad Girls Club.
Has obviously lost her mind. If you chuck pictures at me, I'm gonna chuck them right back at you. Bitch, you wanna but you're not gonna throw nothing in my sister, you're not gonna throw nothing at me.
This review, because it is reviewing the main conflicts, the main overall conflicts of this book. First is the obvious. Neither Citra or Rowan actually want to be Scythes, and they don't want to kill people. I'm pretty sure that'd be obvious for most of us, but Anyways, other main conflicts is the battle of wrong and rights of killing in the Scythedom. Scythes are required to be unbiased with their killing, but it's people, and people are biased. For our final short little stop of this book review, it is the rating and recommendation. For this book, I would give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars, and I think I would recommend this book if you ever wanted to be Katniss in a Peter Malarkey kind of situation. If you ever wanted to read a young adult dystopian novel. If you ever loved the Hunger Games as a child and had a weird obsession with them, and your favorite book and movie is Hunger Games Catching Fire, I would read it. I would read this book, to be honest. Also, now for another Jake's Journal classic review portion, it is the trailer for this book. For this trailer, I have chosen pages 69 through 74 for this excerpt. The flight was on time as usual. While the weather couldn't entirely be controlled, it was easily diverted away from airports and out of flight paths. Most airlines boasted 99.9% on-time service. It was a full flight, but with the lavishly appointed seats of modern air travel, it didn't feel crowded at all. These days, flying was as comfortable as sitting in one's own living room, with the added perk of live entertainment. String quartets and vocal stylists soared across the skies with a cabin full of continented passengers, and air travel these days was far more civilized than in the age of mortality. It was now exponentially pleasant to reach one's destination. Today, however, the passengers of Big Sky Air Flight 922 were on their way to a different destination than the one on the flight which they had planned. The businessman was seated comfortably in seat 15C, an aisle seat. He always requested that seat, not out of superstition, but out of habit. When he didn't get 15C, he was cranky and resentful of whoever did. The company he ran, which was developing hibernation technology, would someday make the longest journeys seem to pass in a matter of minutes. But for now, he would be happy with the Big Sky Airs, and as long as he got 15C, people were still filling on, taking seats as he eyed on passengers moving down the aisle mid-disinterest, but only to make sure they didn't hit his shoulder with their purses and carry-ons as they passed. Are you heading out or heading home?" asked the woman, sitting beside him in 15A. There was no 15B. The concept of the B seat, where one had to sit in between two passengers, had been eliminated, along with the other unpleasant things, like disease and government. "Out," he told her. "And you?" "Home," she said, with a heavy but relieved sigh. At 5 minutes to departure, a commotion up front caught his attention. A Scythe had entered the plane and was talking to a flight attendant. The most unrevering, however, were tales of Scythes who gleaned the passengers from the seat they took. The businessman could only hope that this particular Scythe didn't have his sights set on seat 15C. A flight attendant greeted the elegant Scythes, and in the second they passed her, she turned left and ran down the jetway. "She's escaping," thought the businessman, but then he banished the thought. She couldn't be. She was probably just hurrying to let the gate agent know of the added passengers, that's all. She couldn't be panicking. Flight attendants were trained not to panic. Then the lead Scythe addressed the passengers. "Your attention, please," he said with an unnerving smile. "I regret to inform you that this entire flight has been selected for gleaning." This entire flight has been selected for gleaning? That couldn't be possible. It couldn't be allowed, could it? But he was one who took the action first. He left his seat, hurled down the aisle toward the back of the airplane. Others followed him. But he was nervous. He was the first to the back door. He quickly scanned its operation. Then he heard the lead Scythe say, "I suggest you all return to your seats if you value the lives of your loved ones." As if reading his mind, the lead Scythe said, "We have the manifest from this plane. We know the names of everyone on board," and this man found himself moving forward. "You were so quick to leave your seat," the lead Scythe said to the businessman. "Clearly, you're the alpha of this plane, and as alpha, I'll allow you to choose the order in which these good folks shall be gleaned. Now please start choosing people so we may begin." "No," the man said, "I will not choose, and I will not give you the pleasure of watching me squirm." Then he turned to the other passengers. "I advise everyone here to end your own lives before the Scythes get their hands on you. They don't deserve their rank any more than they deserve the honor of gleaning you." The lead Scythe glared at him, but only for a moment. Then he turned to his compatriots. "Begin," he ordered. The lead Scythe pulled out his blade, and the businessman was ready. The moment the blade was drawn, he thrust himself forward into it, a final willful act, making death his own choice rather than the Scythe's. Denying the Scythe, if not his method, then his madness.